How's it going, everybody? Trey here, and today I am commentating about this particular piece of animation that has everybody in a fucking frenzy over on X, the app or website that's used to be known as Twitter, especially in the animation community. Right now, as you can see right here, is a cartoon made by Eagan Tilghman. You can barely see that here. This cartoon, as you can see, is Scooby Doo, but in the form of a Baskin Robin, probably missing that name, claymation style animation in the similar vein of those old cartoons from back in the day that had this kind of cartoon animation style back when people made these holiday specials all the time. The reason this particular piece of animation blew up, not because of the fact that it's really, really good looking. As you can see here, it's a parody of Five Nights at Freddy's because Matthew Lillard is in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, so they decided to go ahead and make a parody where you see Scooby Doo and the Mystery Gang investigating Freddy Fazbear's. All in all, it's pretty good. It looks nice. It's made in Blender, but it mimics that old school style of claymation just perfectly, as you can see here. And the controversy with this is the fact that this cartoon uses AI voices. It even says so in the description that four of the seven characters here are voiced with AI. Now, the AI voices are pretty noticeable the more you watch the cartoon yourself. From what I was able to tell by the credits at the end, Fred, Velma, Daphne, and the other character right here are all voiced by AI, while Scooby and Shaggy were voiced by impersonators, and I believe the person who worked on the cartoon voiced the Fred character. No, not Fred. The Springtrap character. But yeah, everything else is AI, but the animation itself is made by one person, a 23-year-old who apparently had a budget of $10 to make this, allegedly. They even said in the description that they're going to work on redubbing this with actual voice actors, but they just used AI because that was the cheapest thing that was available to them to use, and that was convenient. Now, the reason this has blown into controversy is, of course, as I mentioned already, of the use of AI being used on this cartoon. Let me refocus that a little bit here. Of course, I'm doing this in terms of commentary, so I'm not just freebooting the cartoon just to make views here. I actually have to share some news about this. Greg DeLisle, who is the long-term voice for Daphne, who voiced Daphne for years, voiced her displeasure about the use of AI voices being used for this cartoon. As someone who uses her voice to voice Daphne and continue to voice Daphne and future projects outside of that one Scooby Doo spinoff that shall not be named, yeah, I can see where she would be upset about her version of the voice being used in this matter. And not just her, but Frank Welker, who voices Fred, is also used in this. But funny enough, they didn't use Frank Welker's version of Scooby's voice for this. Instead, they went with impersonator to just play Scooby instead. And a big point of contention that I've seen spread around online, and this is where I've definitely seen a lot of pushback from people like Pop, the creator of Hasbin Hotel and Helluva Boss, is the use of an AI version of. I'm sorry, I'm about to mess up his name. Don Mesnick. Sorry for that. I completely forgot his name for a minute there. But the use of Don Mesnick's voice for the red herring character, the guy that's not Springtrap here, definitely threw some people off as being kind of disrespectful, considering how the man died back in 1997. For those of you who don't know, Don Mesnick was the original voice actor for Scooby Doo. On top of that, he also voiced other characters within the Hanna-Barbera universe, including but not limited to Astro from the Jetsons, Papa Smurf from the Smurfs, and Boo Boo Bear from Yogi Bear. So he voiced a lot of characters during his heyday, back when he was active and alive. So, of course, there's a lot of usage of his voice that could be used and fed to an AI to clone it for the purposes of animation like this. So, with that being said, it's understandable why the animator used his voice to make this, but at the same time, it can also feel pretty, yeah, not so good. I mean, on one hand, it's not like he can be really hurt financially from this because, the guy's dead. He has nothing to really lose anymore. But at the same time, it still could feel not the best morale wise as to doing something like that to somebody who's not alive anymore, and to use their work posthumously. It's kind of like the people who were very critical about the use of holograms for celebrities that passed away, like when the Tupac hologram was around. It leaves a bad taste in people's mouths. I see both sides on this issue. I don't want to sit on the fence because I am against AI as a replacement for people. I can support it as a tool, and for purposes like this, I could definitely see it being used as a tool. This was used as a way for somebody with low budget to make an indie project. That being said, had this been made by a studio, like for example, the studio Visipop owns, Spindle Horse. If they were to use AI voices, that would look a lot worse since that's seen as a major indie studio. Or would that be any big production like Illumination, for example, or DreamWorks, who use AI voices? That would look way, way, way worse. So, again, I can see both sides of this issue. I'm not particularly fond of AI voices being used, considering that there is a narrative that a lot of these voices could have been just voiced by impersonators. There's people on Fiverr that could have done it for $5. Hell, there's people who have done it for free. All you had to do was just search for VA on X, and you'll have a bunch of kids and their Yeti microphones ready and willing to do the damn job for free. But that's just my opinion. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. I would like to hear both sides of the argument here. Or hell, even if you are somehow in the minority who thinks both sides are really wrong for some reason, let me know. This has been my commentary on this issue, and I am going to leave it at that. Bye.